Okay, today is February 3rd, and I have another Black History fact, story, history for you. Okay, whatever. This one is about, and I'm about to torture this name, so just bear with me. Abdul Rahman. I know it's probably wrong, but hey, I'm gonna do the best I can. He was an African prince that was captured and sold into slavery in 1788. From there, he was brought to New Orleans, Louisiana. From there, he was sold to a slave owner in Natchez, Mississippi named Thomas Foster. Abdul remained in slavery for 40 years. Imagine being in slavery for 40 years and you're a prince. Like, I'm not familiar with living a royal life, so all I can really go off of is maybe movies and stuff. And I'm thinking like Coming to America, like bark like a dog, hop on one leg. So imagine going from bark like a dog, hop on one leg to having to pick cotton all day in the heat. Whoo, couldn't even imagine it. But anyway, so Abdul stayed enslaved for 40 years. Now, mind you, Abdul was married before he left Africa. He was married and he had just had one son, I think they said. Now, once he came and he got on Thomas Foster's plantation, he married another woman and had 9 kids for her. Ooh, they were busy. 9 kids. It was 5 boys, 4 girls. So Abdul ended up, now, after years and years of trying to run and stuff, he ran a couple of times or whatever, but eventually after 40 years, he settled in. But anyway, so because he was a good slave or whatever, they kind of liked him a little bit eventually. They used to let him go to the market. So he went to the market one day and he bumped into this man. Boom. Okay. He bumped into this man. It was a familiar face. John Coates. He ended up running into John Coates. John Coates. Got it. He ended up running into him. Now, him and Cox, back in the day or whatever, 40 years back in Africa, Abdul family helped Cox. Something happened to Cox. He got sick, hurt, or something like that. And Abdul family took him in, nursed him back to health, got him back right. So when they saw each other at the market, now this in Mississippi now, so what's the chances of that? It had to be God. So they at the market and boom, they run into each other. And Cox like, what you doing way over here? And, Abdul telling him, man, I done been enslaved over here for 40 years. And I've been trying to get back over there. These people crazy, And Cox like, I got you. I'm going to try to get you free. I'm going to buy you from Foster. So, boom, 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 So they all go back. Now, mind you, Cox ended up being Foster's neighbor, Abdul's slave master, slave owner, or whatever. Cox ended up being his neighbor. So, Cox went over there to Foster house. Boom, 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 boom. He like, hey, I want to purchase one of your slaves. And I'm willing to give you more than what you paid for him. So, Foster, even though he was about to receive more than what he actually paid for the slave, Foster was like, nah, can't have him. I pass. So, dang, boom. Abdul probably was in his feelings, like, because you thought you were that close to freedom, and then, boom, it got knocked out. So, eventually, after Cox ended up dying, his son then doubled back, came back to Foster. Boom, 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 boom. Say, Foster, I'm trying to purchase that slave that my daddy was trying to purchase from you a while back, and you told him no. I'm trying to purchase him. Foster said no again. This man was like really standing on business. He said no again. So every opportunity that Abdul thought he had, it kept getting knocked. Okay, so that was out the plan because Foster just wasn't trying to sell them. Anyway, so moving forward, a reporter or something hears about Abdul's story and agrees to send a letter to Abdul's people in Africa or whatever. And anyway, something like that. But President John Adams had to end up stepping in and telling Foster, look, my boy, I know you're going to lose a little money or whatever, but we got to send this prince back. You know, I didn't know that he was royalty. We got to send him back. And they willing to let some of our people go that they got hostage over there. Some Americans that they got hostage over there. They wouldn't have let them go if we send this prince back. So I know you about to lose out a little bit, my boy, but we got to send this prince back. So anyway, boom. Abdul and his wife end up getting released. But the 9 kids didn't. So Abdul and his wife, they end up going back to Africa. Now, they try to raise a little money before they go back to try to get they children out. So, but they don't get the amount that they need. They needed like 10, and I think they only got 4,000 or something. So, boom, they end up going back to Africa, and Abdul, he kept trying, man. He kept trying and trying to get his children. He ended up getting 4 of his boys before he died. So, boom, Abdul died. And unfortunately, slave master Foster ended up dying around the same time and ended up selling. So they ended up selling Abdul's other 5 children. So they never reconnected. So bittersweet story. That's your history fact for today.